Hi, Folsom High School. Welcome back to school, Distance Learning 2020. Now, whew, I know it's been a long haul. We've only been in a couple weeks, but please give a congratulations to my students who have been working so diligently and trying to make sure that they stay signed in and doing the assignments. My name is Dina Reeve. I have been here at Folsom High School for 23 years. So I've seen a lot of changes throughout the school. However, um, a lot of things still, though, remain the same, and that is one, we care about your child and making sure that they successfully endeavor through this journey. Let's go ahead and take a look here at a little bit about me, just so you know. Yes, this is my 23rd year. I'm originally from Napa, California. However, I quickly went through to Diablo Valley Junior College and then on to Sac State, where I have my bachelor's and master's degree as well as national board certification. I've also been a tech manager here on campus, so I do work with students and teachers about making sure that they can get through this journey of distance learning and come out the other end still feeling even more confident. I've also coached on campus. I've been a volleyball coach, a softball coach. I've also been activities director. So I've seen a lot of things happen on campus and I'm pretty much aware. And if I can't find the answer, I know there's a lot of people I can ask. We have over 100 staff members here on campus. So a little bit about what I teach. I teach senior college prep and GPS senior college prep English, as well as sophomore college prep English. And so just to kind of distinguish what those are, senior English as a combined class, I have about half and half, where I have half students who are senior college prep and the other half who are senior GPS. And GPS means Global Program Studies. These students have been in this course for over 3 years and they are just finishing out with a specialized degree. So my senior class does cover all the mandates for 12th grade English, but however, the only twist is that there's more of a global twist. All of our literature, our discussions, articles will be globally minded. The big difference between the two groups of students in my class for senior year is that senior college prep, when they do the senior research project, will stay with all seniors who are college prep, and that is the senior career research project. Whereas senior GPS, they have a capstone project that they have begun, and they'll be working even out of campus, off campus hours with a group of people for their capstone project. Sophomore English is also college prep, which means I cover those A through G requirements, making sure we cover state standards, as well as all the sophomore English classes do have a global twist because we have interwoven all of the GPS students throughout all the sophomore English classes. And we thought this would be more beneficial for all students. So how can you communicate with me? For parents, please email me, and if for a quicker response, make sure to put your initials of your student and the period. I do have them. It just helps me get back to you a lot faster. You can also add yourself as a guardian in their Google Classroom. That also can get you some information that way. Students, how do they message me? They know that they can, one, email me, or they can go to the assignment that they're confused in and do a private message, and that also emails me. So I get those messages. They also know they're on my Remind account, and I have a Remind account for every class level, so I can communicate back with them as well when I have a major error happening. Or, for example, we had just today, I put the wrong code in, so I can just email out to students, here's the correct code, and it immediately gets to them. So when grading begins, where do you go as a parent to check grades? Well, first of all, please log into the parent portal. I do have a website up here for you to give more information on that if you are not yet in the parent portal for PowerSchool. PowerSchool is our grading program. For larger assignments, just know that I will place due dates, the actual day something's due, in the gradebook, which means that I still need more time to grade. So for the big assignments, what I will do is make sure that when I collect the assignment, I will put a check mark that it's been turned in, and then I'll put the grade once it's graded. If it is blank, there's no score there, that means I'm still grading. Or if there's a 0 or an M it means that it's incomplete, it's missing. So students do know that they have one day that they can turn in late for half credit. So if, say if it's due on a Tuesday and the next time I see them is Thursday, they know that they can turn it in that one day late. So the method of evaluation. First of all, this was already on your course expectations that I had sent home and had signed and returned. But again, grades are going to be accumulated based off assessments, writing summatives, projects, and synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous means that's when they're together with me for those 2 hours and 20 minutes each week. And asynchronous is during the time that we've set up in school, the school day, which is from 9:40 to 10:10 is our advisory. From 11:30 to 12 o'clock, they have student activities, but they also can have interventions with teachers. And then 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, they have what's called that asynchronous learning time where they can work on these assignments. Because again, we only get to see them for 2 hours and 20 minutes for the entire week. One of the things I did tell my students that if they are absent and they wait till the next time they see me to ask what's happening, they're already behind because we have to move along and meet the standards. So this talks about summative, formative, and makeup assessments. The big difference is this. Right now we're informative. We're forming the ideas of where are they at, what are they learning, how are they experiencing the assignment. So as for example, right now I have students working on writing as well as researching, depending on what grade level, and they're either working together, and I'm checking their assignments to make sure that they understand, and I'm allowing for them to resubmit if they don't understand. That's formative. Summative is the end of unit test that they will receive. And typically, because we are distance learning, majority of the time, those summative assessments will be written experiences. So if your student is absent, please have them check the Google Classroom. My agenda is linked there. They should be able to look at the agenda and then look at the assignments that are new to Google Classroom for the week. I do organize my Google Classroom by the week so they can see exactly what's happening there. Long-term assignments, if they are absent, even if they've been there, but then they're absent and then they come back the day it's due, it's still due. If they miss the assignment on that day, I still need them to be working on it and communicating with me. Hey, Ms. Reeve, I saw this project come up. I've been absent, and work with me via email. Also, I know I only accept assignments one day late. However, if students are their own advocates and they email me before the due date and they say, Ms. Reeve, I'm really having an issue with this part of the assignment, I will meet with them, and then once we talk and discuss it, I will find a basic due date that will work for both of us. So I just want to make sure, though, that they don't get behind. There is a code of conduct, and the first couple days of school, I worked with my students on this, and they came up with their own rules for online class learning. What is expected? What do I need to be safe? We also have school-wide distance learning norms. So just making sure that students are really attentive. I tell my students that if I can't see them on video, I can't truly assess, are they understanding? Do they have a confused face? Are they nodding? So if they turn off video, it's very difficult for me to assess how is the lesson going. I do have some students, though, that are also participating in the chat, which is excellent. It really helps me understand if I ask a question, they're either unmuting themselves and answering, or they're answering in the chat. And that absolutely helps me check for understanding as I go. I understand sometimes video is difficult because of connections, so that chat line is where they really need to be working that out with me. We do have some platforms here. We have Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, PowerSchool's our gradebook, and then we have a hub called Clever. And this is on our Folsom High School webpage. On the left-hand side under additional links, they will find the word Clever. They log in using their Google accounts from the school, and that will link them to items such as their online books, which is our Study Sync. We also have them connecting right now to Clever because they are taking an iReady reading test. And so that is due next Monday for me. Excuse me, that is actually due this week for me. Sorry, it was last Monday. As we go on, I'm going to exit out of this particular program right now, and I'm going to show you what the students look at. So when they first jump in, they will see something like this in Google Classroom. They go to classroom.google.com. Then they link on the English class. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my sophomore class so you can see this. This is the student view. So I do show students also student view, what it should look like. When they have a stream here, so sometimes I put information in the stream so they can give them information right away. They have upcoming dates of when things are due. Then they go to classwork, and as you see classwork, I have starting off with right here is the agenda. I also have my virtual classroom. I had some issues with students. I was trying to get everyone to link on to my virtual classroom to get to the agenda. It was just too many students having too many difficult situations, so I put both links here. Our class meeting, this is what will show them how to join. They click here and that joins them to my Microsoft Teams meeting for the day. It is constant. It is always there and never changes. So when students click this link, it should automatically add them to Microsoft Teams. If somebody else who's not in my class clicks on that link, if their name is not on my list for that day and that session, they will not be allowed in. Microsoft Teams just blocks them. And that's one of the reasons why we're using Microsoft Teams, just for your own students' safety. As you scroll down and you look at, you can see here I have week 4. I have the assignments. So when they click on the assignment, for example, for sophomores, we have a research project that they're working on to show me their understanding of Works Cited. And so they're working together here as groups. And I've given even samples. So I try to give them all the handouts within the project. And yes, I've been moving due dates because once we get to the next step, I've been doing step-by-step instruction. So our next due date for this project will be September 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. If I go back here and look at my seniors, you can see my seniors. Same elements they have here is they have the whole class meetings. When we have meetings, sometimes I have breakout rooms. That's where you see these Team A, Team B. We break out into different groups. And then again, here's their information of what they're working on for the week. And so it's really organized to keep it week by week, and I will move things along as we're going. They also have a Google Calendar that shows the due dates for things they can click on. And they have the class drive folder, which is for my class. This goes on their Google Drive. Just to show you also, when you go to Folsom High School, I'm going to go ahead and click the home page. When you're at Folsom High School's homepage, two things. I'm showing you about that Clever. If they go down here and additional links, right here is where they will find Clever. But also, if they go over here to teacher websites, and they click on Reeve, Dina, here they come to my teacher website. Here I have, I try to put a lot of information, especially for parents on this site, because you don't need a password to get here. As you look here, I have a note for parents, and I have also the link to my PowerPoint is right here on what says Welcome Back to School. So you have access to my PowerPoint that I'm giving today right here. Also, if you see underneath here on the left-hand side, I have technology help. So I link things for technology just to kind of help students and parents. I also have a parent page, just some items I've come across that really might help you as a parent with the technology, with letters that I've sent out. So I always try to connect here with you. A different wellness, the National PTSA Student Success Guide, information about COVID, screen time tracking charts, family internet rules, boredom, busy activity ideas. So whenever I find a cool idea, I try to put it here for parents to kind of work with their own child on. I also have grammar help here for my students and helpful English websites. Depending if they're a senior, they have other links here. If they're a sophomore, here are their links. Yes, each class has their own notebook. So each class should have some kind of spiral bound notebook where they are writing in the table of contents just like I have here. So when they see and they are writing in their table of contents, it should look exactly like mine is. If I go here to my sophomores table of contents, they should have a number 1 and says euphemism defined. And so this is what we've been working on this week. So they have the item number, they have the label of the number, and then depending on what page they're on in their notebook, this can be student change varying the students, it'll be changed. So like if a student writes a lot of notes, they may have 3 pages where another student has only 1 page of notes. So again, that page number will vary, but they all should have the number 1 for the item 1 and euphemism defined in their notebook already. All right, so this is my welcome page. If you keep scrolling down on the front welcome page, I always tell students, you can see my dog Tess. Yes, she's a big part of my life, and I bring her here every now and then to see. She was here the other day with me, so I got to show students on the camera. But you can hit right here, welcome to Reeves Reality Virtual Classroom. And I'll show you that in a moment. But you keep scrolling down and there's my how to join my Remind. And parents, you are welcome to join my Remind. You may not want to. You may not want all the messages I send to my students. Go ahead and click on the virtual classroom. And as I load up, you will see, yes, I have some music for them, and yes, I apologize if you don't like the music, but this is really for my students. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. So I tell students to go around and click things and kind of find out more about what's happening on our campus. If they are a class of 2021, they click right here to get their agenda. If they're a class of 2023, they click right here. So when they click this literally shows the weekly agenda. So they just scroll down. I have the times, I have expectations, and then here's the agenda for the 4th week, and the rest are right underneath it. So it tells you here the Monday meetup, what they expected to do during asynchronous time, and then what we work on in class is right above. So you can see this and how it works. If I go back here, they can keep clicking things, and they can find recommendations that I make about reading. This is also for sophomores. Animal Farm is our first novel. I've connected the PDF in case they lose their book or they're not with us, and Beowulf is the other one for seniors. As they continue on, they can learn more about me and things that I do on campus. I go through here with Sac State. I can find out more about myself, and I'll show them information about my family and who I am. I've introduced my family to my students, as well as I can go and talk about just the things I love to do. And so kind of just talks about who am I, and so I've gone through this with my students in the first week of school. So let's go back here to the back to school, and I'm going to continue presenting here. And I get a lot of questions, like frequently asked questions, and so I'm trying to answer them here. So how can you support your students' success? Please make sure they have their own area for school, and it's a quiet area. I know that can't always happen, but if that's the case when it's really noisy, having a set of headphones really does help them stay focused. Also, please check in on them during school hours if you are at home, because we have found situations where I'm calling on students, and if I continue to call on them and they're off video and they're not answering me, I do mark them DLD, which means they are disengaged from distance learning. And so please make sure that, kind of check in. Are all their other videos off? Are they staying focused on the assignments? I know it's not easy, but again, I only get to see them 2 hours and 20 minutes to give them instructions for the week. So this is also us joining together, doing class discussions, learning about what we can. So I'm kind of keeping to the main concepts of English and what they need to know, but with me not giving them everything they would have normally in class, that 2 hours and 20 minutes, I'm really bound for time. So I appreciate you checking in on them, making sure they're focused. Encourage them to turn their videos on. It's really important so we can actually create this relationship and this bond so I know where they are and I can check for understanding just by looking at them visually. You will try to hear from me about when I start new units, especially my sophomores. I will send out a letter. However, I do want to encourage parents to encourage their own students that to advocate for themselves. They need to be able to tell you what's happening in class. And if you face unique challenges, definitely email me. I will try to find help. And for homework expectations, large projects, please follow on that PowerSchool and Google Classroom. You will see those come up. Again, headphone, good mic. If your computer's down, please come to school and get a Chromebook. We do offer Chromebooks to every student. And if if your Wi-Fi is really having some issues, Mr. Caden Head, our principal, has hotspots for anyone who needs them. And he only has so many, so make sure to kind of check in with him as soon as you can. So again, if I kind of finish this last slide here, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. I can see it here. Please let me know if you need additional academic success help. And I will talk with counselors and other teachers. We have what we call a student study team if you find that your student's really struggling in all their classes. And the teachers will get together and try to formulate a plan to best help your student. So I think this is enough time here. I apologize I've taken too much of your time, but thank you so much for kind of following through. Welcome back to school. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Thank you. Bye now.